Hey everybody, Jen Cravassi, Jekyll Baits, and this is your workshop update. Today is Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Welcome to the show. In front of me, I have this massive pile of Rebels. We've been working on a whole bunch of stuff for Lake BACCARAC, going down to the lodge there. So I'm going to do some show and tell this afternoon and try and keep it short, but you know it never works out that way because I miss you guys. I haven't seen you in a while. But I'm going to get right into these. So this is 100 piece for Rebel Poppers. It's also 100 pieces for Bill Lewis rattle traps and the Magnums. Really, we like bigger stuff for down there because it's a trophy bass lake. And if you don't know anything about Lake BACCARAC, please look it up and make it a go-to destination. Put it on your bucket list, whatever you have to do, because the fish down there are just absolutely massive. So if you're into bass fishing. But this is a little razzle dazzle. These are all custom painted. So I did 4 patterns on the poppers, and then I've got 4-ish on some rattle traps I'm going to show you, and then some other miscellaneous pieces. I figured I didn't know if I was going to call this like a poison color or a toxic color, but there's a lot of that floating around since I started doing toxic stuff way back in the day in like 2015, 2016. But we ended up with a razzle dazzle name for this. Really good in stained water. And these are really great poppers. So this is the Rebel Magnum. It's a lot larger than the regular little poppers. And I love doing these bigger ones for down here. So shout out to Matt McKee at McKee Outdoors for making this happen on a very short notice for me. I was supposed to get source these or different ones from a different company, a different person, and I was not able to get them in time. But I also want you to take a look at how well this almost looks like a floating pattern in this clear coat, and right down to the hand painted eyes. So there is all of that. And then I've got the bone belly froggy pop. So I did a little frog pattern on these as well. And then we've got a straight bone, and that is the straight bone. These are all ready to go, ready to ship today down to Mexico. Next up, I went ahead and put some gloves on. These are custom cane walkers from Berkeley Baits. They are OEM, which means original equipment manufacturer. And I've got 3 patterns on these. All of this is an order for BACCARAC. So this is what I've been working on the past couple of weeks. I did take a vacation in there because I was about to lose my mind, but no, it was really cool. It had been planned for the whole year, actually since last Christmas. There were 3 generations of my family together, and it was a really wonderful vacation for everybody. So you can see the glitter in this. Camera never really does this the kind of justice that I wish it could, but this is probably some of my favorites that I have done. These are really good walkers. The trick with these is that the weight is in the back, so you can sling it out really well. It's well weighted, but it also sits a little bit deeper, so you really have to pull it up almost like you're getting up on pad on your own plane, and then start working it. So unless you're used to these, it's a little bit of a learning curve to learn how to walk them, but they walk like a dream once you get it down. Just like anything. It's almost like working a glide bait. It's always a little bit to it. So this is that. And I put some orange eyes and have that sunburst throat and lots of blue glitter on this. And then we have more of a shad traditional color. I would say that the green is as well, and then that brighter poison color razzle dazzle basically, which is good for a little bit stained, but your belly's still clear. So anglers look down, fish look up. So the fish is going to be seeing mostly this and some side to side with that. So that's the cane walkers. And then I'm going to bring this stuff into view. These are the Bill Lewis rattle traps. These are also magnums. I did 100 pieces split between 50 of the 3/4 ounce and 50 of the 1 ounce. This is, and again, right down to the eyes on this. These are all hand painted. Got that holographic look on top. And these just turned out really, really well. Super happy with the way they turned out. Lots of color shift, lots of pop in these. And then we've got the glitter bomb, which again, I wish the camera was picking up how sparkly these things truly are. They are packed full of glitter, but you can see some of the purple color shift going on in these, which is fun. And lots of traditional scaling. Shad have tiny scales. So really, really good project, fun project to do. Have tilapia. This is one of the smaller size. Also with color shift. So there we've got that. And last but certainly not least, we've got the blind shad. Also with lots of color shift, lots of pop. But I wanted to specifically do a targetable wounded look on a fish, on a shad. And if you're unfamiliar with the rattle traps, I don't know that most of you would be unfamiliar with them, but just tons of rattle, tons of noise, good knock to it, and that's what the fish is going to hear coming through the water. Just love these things. So I'm going to get off of this, and we're going to move to some other stuff that I've got that I've finished up that's going to stay here. It's either going to go on the Whatnot. I'm starting a Whatnot channel, and I'm going to start doing some auctions there, or it's going to go on the website. Maybe both. We'll see. Got some Strike King divers. These are the last of the baits that are going down to BACCARAC. Also on the color shift, more of a translucent, transparent shimmer belly. And I did these in 6XD, 5XD, and 3XD. Just, I think, a really good representation. Again, all this is OEM. I don't do knockoffs anymore. And some of you that are starting out, I would say that it's almost essential that we start out as painters and sellers with knockoffs. You want to try and vet that to the ones that actually swim decent. But there's also a lot of stuff out there that they have had to change so much from the original. It detracts from the company that has a reputation for building a good product, and it also is going to be a devalue for your customers as well, because the product is kind of not going to behave the way they were designed to behave. They're not going to swim as good. They're not going to be weighted the same. And I've learned that over the past 10 years doing this and being in this swim bait industry, especially with swim baits and glide baits. So there's a lot of stuff that I would be a proponent of, but for the most part, I certainly understand why a lot of customers want to move towards baits that are the original. So all of these are Strike Kings. They all have the Strike King branding on them. You can see that the 5XD and 3XDs and 6 have been imprinted into the bills, and that's one of the things that I'm a proponent of these days. We are back at the finishing desk in the office, and this is just a few more random pieces that I kind of wanted to show off. These are OEM Strike King 2.5 KVDs, and just a fun little pattern. I was talking to Mike Russell yesterday on the phone, who is one of my mentors and really, really good friend and confidant in the industry. He is a designer and painter and extraordinaire. He's been with Strike King for a number of years, but he is one of the only other, if not the only other, full-time painter / designer, colorway design, aside from myself in the industry. So it's kind of fun. We're not builders, which is cool, but we do design. So when it comes to stuff like that. Anyways, he was looking at this online and it's kind of disappearing. So that gold profile in the scaling comes in only at certain times. So it does mimic flash. It's really, really good. And I have these on the website right now. 30% off online, everything that I've got listed at www.jekyllbaits.com for the holidays, giving you guys 30% off. A lot of people are like, oh, 5%, 10%, 15%. Nah, let's do it right. You guys deserve that. So these are online now. These little guys, I sell more of these for trout fishermen and panfish guys. Bass will hit them, obviously, too. But these are cool little woolly bears. And I started painting these back in Arkansas, gosh, 2016, 17. Because what I noticed this time of year is, especially for you bank beaters and shore bangers like myself or kayak fishermen, if you're doing a lot of rivers and creeks and small skinny water, these little guys fall out of trees, nestled in grass along the edge, shoreline, and they're just really great bait. And they'll fall in the water, and bass just love them. They scoop them up. So trout love them too. I've seen big browns just swallow tons of these on the water. So love them, love them, love them. Also have probably to date one of the tiniest baits I've done. Little shad pattern. Mike's in the building now. He was not earlier, but you can hear him doing some stuff with some wood. So that's fun. I've got a little trout back here. Since I haven't done a proper shop update in a little bit, I figured I would bring this into the fold. This is a tiny little Rapala. Very tiny. Original hooks are on it. Shined up, polished, sharpened. And there is that. So this is custom painted, obviously, in a rainbow trout. Little smelt-ish fry pattern. So that's fun. Also on the website now, I've got a few of these and a few of the woolly bears. So I also have some original stuff going on. I've got some Weston. This is the lipless. And I've got that Bill Lewis. It's a circuit board. These things are fantastic, really good swimmers. And if I recall correctly, I think this is like a 1 to 3 feet kind of a deal. Oh, 3 to 6. There we go. Even better. So my mistake on that. But yeah, it's a little bit more of a lip on this. So 3 to 6 would be great for this time of year. Anything that's right above the thermocline. Shallow water. Down some riprap. And then I also have, I believe this is a Baker jerkbait that I have done in almost like a lavender. You can see the lavender to green in the color shift here. Now it's lavender and now it's green. So those are fun. This is going to get posted on the website. And more than likely, I might, everybody's been telling me do a whatnot site and start auctioning off pieces. And I've got tons and tons and tons of tackle in my garage that's just been sitting there, and I really need to go through that. So maybe look for that the next couple of weeks. I did sign up for Whatnot. I've been on there for a long time. It seems to be a very popular way, and I might do a bunch of customs on there. I might do some glides. Things like this might show up, which was a one-off that I did for Halloween. And this is one of those ABS trick shad deals. Super cool. So stuff like this might be on there. So watch for that in the next couple of weeks. I really do like, and I may keep and fish one of these, probably this little guy right here. And it's got, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but tons of holographic foiling underneath. And then just a nice little pastel yellow fading up into that thread fin color. So with this, I like to play on the strength of what the bait has to offer when I can. And this was just pretty much a foiled holographic image with a darker top. I think it was green. So I redid the top and then faded down the back. And then kept that holographic foiling, and then added a little bit of metallic gold red on the throat. I kept the slashes for the gill plates, and then added some custom kill dot on it and some really cool Mega eyes to it. And then last but certainly not least on this long overdue workshop update, this is an old pose. And you can see that the pose is stamped on the lip for identification purposes and validity. And this was a reclaim. The wood was not completely waterlogged. Now, the old pose, they don't use balsa, they use cedar, which is pretty cool. And one of the things that I really like about this old rustic look is that I kept the characteristics of some of that. I sanded it down, but you could still see where that original paint had cracked. And I really think that that's a cool attribute to these old baits. Cleaned up the eyes. You can see that there's a new pupil on each side, and I kind of highlighted the red that had faded off around it. I added new kill dots, and then the only other thing that I did to this was get a really cool deep 10 forest green over top of the black scaling on the stencil that I did. This is been using a lot of this on the hex stencil. That's from Anarchy, so there's a description below, a little link for you guys. And it's just that beautiful fire pattern, yellow, the green, and the orange belly. So these are, and this was I replaced these, so this is not original. This one I replaced because this had been rusted out and was almost through. So swam test it, swims really good. Got rid of the rust on there, used some lacquer thinner and a scrub brush. The original lip, I did not weight the lip with any additional clear coat, and then I used the Tamco. So I've got some stuff coming up, you guys, where I'm going to be trying out some different paints that people have given me, and I'm going to try some different clear coat methods. I think you guys would probably like that if you think you would like something like that to see what works best. I know Engineered Angler does a lot of that kind of stuff, but just for my own curiosity, because I think you guys might be interested in seeing that, I might do a few of those here and there. You can see, I think that's an old tooth mark, a chip mark from a bass or a toothy critter perhaps. But there's a couple little indentations there, look like teeth to me. So that is going to do it. It's all the news that's fit to print. Thank you guys so much for checking out what's going on at Jekyll Baits and Bull Shad Swim Baits. We are rocking and rolling. The next comprehensive video is me completely redoing a foiled bait. It's been on my shelf for over a year now. My customer has been more than wonderful about it. It's just been a really long, arduous process. So I'm going to completely do a refoil and a paint job on his bait. And I'm really happy to get it back to my client. So I hope you guys have a great day. Happy holidays. Hope your Thanksgiving was fantastic. I hope you have a wonderful, happy Christmas, Kwanzaa, everything. Feliz Navidad. It is December. Today is December the 3rd, 2024. I did this video in 2 parts, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers and happy casting from Jekyll Baits in Bull Shad Studios.